What's happening, guys? Mathematics back again. If you do like the videos, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Trying to get the channel going again, so by all means, guys, I do appreciate the support. So guys, as it stands now, we're ultimately in a recession. Recession means there's a particular moment in time right about now where effectively the gross domestic product of the country basically reduces. What that means in layman's terms is that basically we're just not producing as much. There's less money in the system sloshing around. Consumer spending is reduced because people have less money that they can afford to buy maybe consumer items for, so they're going to keep to more so the essentials. Maybe they're not going to be spending on luxury purchases, and they're going to make sure that they keep their money as tight as possible. That means, again, potentially a lot of people could be laid off. It could mean that jobs are going to be reduced, or at least you could find that, again, people are just struggling to continue with their day-to-day living in respect of what they've done before. It's like a perfect storm is what they're seeing right about now. So it seems to be that we've got the recession going on. Interest rates have been increased to curb consumer spending, which basically means that, again, if everyone just spends without any type of control whatsoever, this is how inflation happens. And effectively inflation is saying that the value or the buying power of the money is actually reduced. So the buying power of the money is actually reduced over time, which basically means that money starts to have no value after a while. So to curb inflation, the Bank of England said, let's increase interest rates, which makes it actually more expensive to borrow money. That makes sense. More expensive to borrow money, because what happens when people borrow money, or what happens when companies will borrow money, often they're borrowing money to maybe do some type of venture, and they'll probably use it in such a way to create some type of maybe another source of income, maybe using it to go and purchase maybe some land, some property, whatever it may be. But because it costs you more, a lot of people can't afford to do that. So effectively it costs you more to use other people's money, if that makes sense. So now it could be a time where the spending is actually reduced, which again is effectively what the recession seems to be. The spending is reduced, everything's been brought in, and effectively people are in a point now where, again, as we can see, you've got the situation where the gas prices still being high. You've got the situation where the gas prices for your day-to-day utilities are going to go crazy through the roof, and it's still increasing as it stands. Again, interest payments have increased. Interest rate has increased to 1.75%. I think before that was 1.25%. So with the increase in the interest rate, it may mean some people can't afford to necessarily pay for their mortgage. Some people can't necessarily take that loan out anymore because they can't afford the repayments anymore. So things are changing, things are being affected, and it means realistically, guys, what I'd say is that at this moment in time, it is very, very important that you have some type of budget in place, some type of way of monitoring your money that's coming in and out. And don't get me wrong, there will be times when you spend on certain things, you're going to have to spend on certain things. You may have no choice. A flat tire in your car, or something happens and you go to the supermarket and you do. This is part of the video now, what I'd say, tips I would suggest on that, and what we could do to try and consider some type of way to make some money through the recession. Obviously, guys, they usually say, and again, I think the system personally is my opinion, I think the system's rigged to keep people who are poor, to put you back down into the poverty position. Because again, don't get me wrong, again, it is a little bit of a perfect storm now with the situation with Russia, and again, that impacts the fuel prices and everything else like that. But I do feel a little bit like, if you're in a position now where you're quite well off, you're quite wealthy, you probably won't feel it in the same way, or you probably definitely won't feel it in the same way as someone who's actually at the bottom of the rung, so to speak. So I think there's a little bit of, I don't want to say engineering that takes place with some of these things, but I do question when there's these type of resets, who really gains. And usually what you find is that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and the richer will still go on and make their ventures and still get involved in things, and maybe even borderline take advantage of the situation to still make some money during a recession. So again, guys, I'm going to say to you again, it's not financial advice, but I'm trying to give you some my opinion. Definitely keep an eye on your budget. That's going to be very important right about now. Just make sure you keep an eye on your spending, what's coming in, going out. Try to reduce your consumer spending as well if you can. Don't need to go and buy crazy things and get the new trainers and everything else like that. That money that you're spending for trainers, £50 for trainers, might even be £50 for petrol as it stands now. So just bear that in mind, guys. It's going to be very expensive. Now, in respect of what could be done to make some cash during a recession, I would say that there's always some opportunities to make some type of money in these certain situations, because people's needs will change, or people's needs will fluctuate. So keep an eye out for what may be more important to people now compared to, say, for instance, when the pandemic was on, things where people were fighting over was toilet paper, people going crazy for masks, all those sort of things like that. So keep an eye out, guys. Not to say to manipulate, but keep an eye out for potential opportunities. Obviously, you can look on eBay, you can see what's hot on eBay. That's quite an easy way to do it as well. TK Maxx, those places, people are doing also what I'm noticing as well. Some friends are doing this like up recycling. So they find something which is basically in a charity shop, broken down, they'll fix it up and then go and sell it off again, and they're making money that way. So that might be another way to try and make some cash. But there are some bargains as well out there, guys. So even on the flip side, if you're going to try and buy something, again, the property market as well, guys, is a little bit up in the air in the UK. But that being said, I think it's going to slow down, and I think we're going to find that a lot of people are going to actually get to a point where they say they can't afford to continue paying the mortgage payment. So hopefully it doesn't mean people get kicked out of the house, but that is the reality of what can happen again in this market. So it may mean that one person's getting kicked out, the other person uses that obviously to move in and they can buy a property. But it's so hard right about now in the UK, guys. It's a crazy time. But anyway, guys, so that was a quick video for you just about recession. Keep an eye on your budget, keep an eye on your spending. Do some points there. And again, if you've got any more questions, leave your comments down below and I'll get into the next video. Peace.